Hey guys, if we reach 1,000 likes, we'll be giving out 2 of our new shirts. All you gotta do is click like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. What is up, guys? It is me, Faith of Eliminates, your lovely host, returning to you with all the stuff you love, all those good old anime memes that you guys love to see on this channel, this degenerate channel of mine that caters to Steven Universe Star versus bronies and otakus. We're just a melting pot of friendship over here. Anyways, guys, I did say that I would do a part 2 of the top 10 anime intros. And say all of it so that the search engines analyze my voice and put it into the tags, because apparently we gotta do that again. Hashtag YouTube is over party. Anyways, guys, there was a lot of suggestions from the Malignus Discord and other people on Twitter, so if you're not in the Discord, by the way, or you're not following me on Twitter, you may want to go ahead and do so. Links down in the description. That way, you can give me ideas, so you don't have to shout at me in the comments. I mean, you're still going to do that, but this way, at least some of you won't. Anyways, guys, let's go ahead and jump right into this one. This is in no particular order, and as always, you don't have to like my list by any means, but I don't have to like the same intros as you. Number 10. This one's a classic. I'm pretty sure all of you guys have seen this, or at least heard of it. Now, this is more niche. This is my kind of stuff. This is the shows that I'd like to see, but a Rowan Ho School Club, that is one that is a staple in just my list of animes that people need to watch. The intro to the song, just, it's amazing. I've always kept it with me, even though I haven't heard the song in for quite a while. I can still just, in my mind, just go through it. And the intro is so anime. Yeah, you gotta put it on this list. Definitely one, if you haven't seen, go ahead and check it out. Not only just for the music and the intro itself, but because the show itself is pretty damn good. Number 9. Angelic Layer. This is another older school anime. I hesitate to use that word because I know there's a lot of otakus and weebs who've been watching anime for way longer than I have. You know, I grew up on Toonami and stuff like that, so I only saw the most basic of basic animes, and everything else was by me Googling on Yahoo Answers. I shit you not, this is how I found anime, good like school comedy romance anime to watch. Yahoo Answers. But this one is great. It's definitely underrated. It's like these girls, it's kind of like the Gunpo, which is a Gundam anime where they take control of the toys and they fight it. But this one it's pretty much the same thing, except it's not tied to Gundam. They take control over the, I guess, toys and some sort of, it's not even virtual reality, but like they send their brainwaves and the toys move on their command and stuff, and they fight like that, and you build your own little toy model or whatever. But it's really good, and I love the intro to this as well. If you haven't checked out this one, do so as well. This is definitely one. These are the old school, quote unquote, at least old school to me, animes that I just have to recommend these first 2 here. Number 8. Dragon Ball Super. Dragon Ball is also a staple, but Super is the newest iteration in 2017. You can see that the animation in this is a lot more crisp, it's a lot more cleaner. It literally looks like it would be a movie. Dragon Ball did take a huge hiatus for a while here, but now they're back. But now they're back with Super, and boy, do people love it. I loved it, at least after, I waited like a year to start watching it, because the first season, the first 2 seasons, I believe, actually, are just the Battle of the Gods movie, somehow stretched into an entire season. And the second one is Golden Frieza, Resurrection F or something, which I've already seen. So it's literally 2 seasons of movie content that you can watch in like an hour that you've probably already seen. But other than that, this intro is pretty great. It's a high impact velocity intro, as everyone would expect from Dragon Ball. You have the scenes of them powering up and fighting and all the shenanigans. One thing that I do ding Dragon Ball on a lot is the fact that a lot of the times you don't actually get to see the action. There's a lot of filler, but in this you get to see the punches being thrown. You get to see them actually flex their animation skills. Number 7. Mobile Suit Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans. This one is newer, and this is like the first Gundam that I've been watching in quite a while. I think the last one is like this tournament fighter Gundam, and with the erupting burning finger. I have no idea what Gundam that was, but that was quite a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. it starts out with some pretty, like, impactful, like, entrance. It's in black and white, and then someone just steps into a pool of blood, and it just splashes across the screen, and you're just hooked right from there. And you see a Gundam, but it's only one, and it's like all beat up, and just from the intro alone, you're like, what's going on? What is this? Like, obviously Gundam has always had a bunch of kids, but this is different. You know, you see these kids going through like what appears to be hell, and it's just, but they still look happy at the same time. Like, there's literally a scene in it where they're just lined up and they're just taking punches, and the next scene they're still smiling. And the guy gets up after being punched and he just wipes off the blood. Like, this is what he's used to. He's not perturbed by this. This is life for them. And you get a real sense of the title. It seems like these kids are fighting for their lives. I don't know, this sense of brotherhood. It's great. This entire intro is great. It's also got this weird film grainy type thing. I'm not sure why they did it, but I have to admit that it actually looks really great. This little splashes and artifacting that's on it, it adds to the texture, the grittiness of the intro, what they're trying to convey. And I guess what they're trying to convey is a sense of danger, yet a sense of companionship and brotherhood, and only war and strife can really breed. They definitely do what an intro is supposed to do, and they get you hooked from the moment it starts and the moment it ends. Number 6, JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. There are a lot of different intros for this one because it's such a long-running series and manga, but I chose one that I thought was the best. Now, I'm not a big fan of 3D animation and anime because of the way that it's often done. It's not done in a way that's really suited for 3D animation, as they still try to make it look like it's 2D. And that, for some reason, just throws it in an uncanny valley for me. But JoJo is known for their vibrant colors and their eccentric posing, and if you don't watch the show, you're going to at least be familiar with that. And spoiler alert, I don't actually watch the show. I've seen season 1, like literally season 1, parts of it, and from what I can tell, yeah, that's pretty much spot on. But this intro has all kinds of vibrant animation in it, silhouettes of characters in various colors like pinks and blues. And while yes, there's a lot of CGI in here, it's not overly abundant in a lot of the intro scenes. But it shows what the show is. Everything's crazy. Things are just happening on the screen and you're trying to catch up, but it sets the pace for the show as the show is fast paced. It shows these beautiful people in these eccentric poses just fighting non-stop. And that's what JoJo is, or at least that's what I perceive it to be. Obviously, you can interpret it however you want, but it really highlights the whole trope of the warrior spirit that a lot of animes have. The music is also reminiscent of something that I would hear on like some sort of arcade fighter, and that's probably fitting. JoJo would be really fitting for some sort of arcade fighter. In fact, I'm pretty sure there's a lot of fighting games about JoJo. But it sounds like something that I would expect to hear in the background while playing on the Dreamcast Marvel vs. Capcom 2 or something. And it really gives me a lot of nostalgic vibes just listening to it. Number 5, Little Witch Academia. This is the second opening. Gomenasai, Oni-chan. But it looks like a lot of these videos keep on getting taken down for copyright, so we're using an alternate version, so I can't actually show you all of it. In fact, for a lot of these, you probably won't see a lot of it. But this is a series that I've been trying to find time to watch. In fact, on the night of recording this, I will try to at least watch one episode of it. Because God knows this looks amazing from the intro. I don't know much about the series, and I don't want to spoil it by looking it up. But what I can tell is that there's some sort of rivalry between these girls. There's some sort of magician, magical girls, except they're a little bit different than the traditional idea that someone who doesn't watch anime would perceive a magical girl to be. It looks like Harry Potter. They're witches, and they're in the anime version of Hogwarts. You have the nerdy girls, the goth girls, the tomboys. It's just, you can see a large variety of personalities just in the intro, just from their character designs, just from their facial expressions, and just from the little bit you can see them doing. They introduce a lot of characters, and yet you can already get a feel for what those characters are going to be like. You already get an idea of the pace of the story. you already have some sort of semblance of what you should expect in the ways of character interaction. This is again how intros should be, and it's not simply spoiling the entire series by using clips, which is a big gripe, and it is kind of an aside from the intro. But one of my biggest gripes is when shows are simply just clips from future episodes put into a sequence. Like, that is so annoying. I sometimes just have to close my eyes during certain intros because I don't want to know who the villains are that are coming up before I get to see them. That spoils the impact. Number 4, Kobayashi Dragon Maid. I'm not going to try to read this chap. I don't. Kobayashi-san no dragon? Maid dragon? I don't speak weeaboo. But this is definitely a great one. I really enjoy this show just because it's so, I don't know, it mixes some action scenes with some just cute stuff. And that is always what I like to see. The intro itself is pretty reminiscent of a lot of animes. It's not doing anything that's, well, particularly stand-outish, but it does everything well. It has some, not really dance, but wiggles that the characters do in their human and dragon form. And while it does show us everyone who will be in the show, kind of spoiling a lot of it, it does so in a way that it doesn't really matter. It doesn't tell us exactly what's going to happen, and at least for this show, I'll let it slide. There's a lot of weird scenes, but they at least tell us how the characters are going to somewhat be, and what we should expect of the show. We should expect a lot of fan service, but at the same time, we should expect a serious romantic story. We should expect cute girls doing cute things, but in a world that is also still serious, facing real problems. Number 3. Weeaboo text, God's blessing on this wonderful world. God, that is an awful translation. That can't be the accurate title. But regardless of the horrible name, the intro is actually pretty insanely amazing. In fact, it's probably one of the best on this list. I know nothing about the show itself, but I have seen GIFs upon GIFs and short little clips of this show, and they've all been insanely funny. Just from the intro, I immediately get a Sword Art Online .hacks feel, but more funny. It's a team of incompetent losers, but they're all friends, and they're trying their best to do whatever it is that they're doing. It looks like they're heroes for hire, but every time it just looks like they're in a bunch of shenanigans. They're just not that good at their jobs, and the half-assed dancing that they do in between the scenes are just hilarious. And it just, there's so much personality that's been put into the intro alone. I don't know if this is spoilers for the story or not. It doesn't look like it because some of the transitions between the scenes are just too perfect. The characterizations of these people, you get a really strong feel for. You can see who's the adventurous type, who's supposed to be the straight shooter, who's the crybaby, who's the fan servicey person. It's all great. I don't know if it's actually virtual reality, but I do see a lot of magic being thrown around and mythical creatures, and all I can say is it looks like what I would have loved Sword Art Online to be. Also, the one with the pigtail reminds me of the one horse girl, the centaur from Monster Musume. Am I the only one that thinks that? Especially because she's a knight. Number 2, Apogee of Blue Steel. Again, okay, that's the name. That's what we're going with. That's apparently the name. The song in this is great. It sounds like some sort of post-hardcore song that I would actively listen to on its own, but it's obviously got that Japanese twist on it with a lot of synth instruments and techno kind of beats. I don't know this show. This was also one that was suggested by the Discord. It looks like some sort of post-apocalyptic future, but it looks like the type of show for me. It has a lot of techie stuff going on. It has a lot of intense shots of people. The animation looks spot on. There's a lot of movie hacking stuff that looks like is going on here. There's plenty of fan servicey girls as well. which obviously is going to happen in anime, but they all have their own little unique style to them, and that's also really important to me. Look, fan service is great, but if they don't have an attractive personality, then why do I care? There's a lot of flashing lights that's going on here. I have absolutely no idea what's happening. I do not know the plot. All I know is it looks like Earth got wrecked and they're on a submarine and they're doing all kinds of techie stuff. But just from the intro, I want to watch the show. If someone put a DVD in front of me with the entire season 1 or however many seasons there are, I probably would just be watching it right now. That's a good intro. And the number 1 intro is by Attack on Titan. I don't know why I really stressed the number 1 because again, these aren't in any real order. Though to be fair, that is just a half-ass excuse that I came up with so that I can't be shit on for ranking certain intros higher than others and having their fan base attack me. But everyone knows the intro of this. This has been memed to death, especially on Vine and Instagram and wherever you can post little short little clips. It's so great, but the intro does give you a pretty nice idea of what's going to be in the show. It's pretty gritty, it's pretty dark, it has a lot of action and fast-paced movements. It shows you the creatures that they're fighting, and they give you a pretty good scale and a sense of hopelessness and the devotion of the military that is protecting the people. And you see them as they fight against these giant monsters, against this overwhelming odds, as you watch and see that their only defenses are being destroyed, and you see the distress on their face, and you see them fearlessly go into battle again and again and again, despite knowing that a lot of them aren't going to come back. You see humanity struggle. It makes you want to see the show. It makes you want to see what happens. It makes you want to root for humanity, even though they shouldn't, by all accounts, really be winning this battle. Well, that's gonna do it for my list, guys. I hope you enjoyed, and I'm sure, yes, I mentioned a total of 20 shows now. Yes, there are a lot more intros out there that I would love to put on these lists, but they're called top 10s for a reason, because there's 10 of them. If I could have a top 100, I wouldn't do it. I mean, I could totally make a top 100, but I'm not gonna edit that. I'm not gonna look up videos for that's a lot of videos. That's a lot of talking. I talk enough as it is. As always, guys, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know what you guys think. What intros did you like? What intros didn't you like? What intros should have been on this list? As I'm sure you guys would be quick to point out in the comments. As always, it's been Faith I'll see you guys next time. Be sure to join the Discord if you haven't already, and subscribe to show YouTube that you love us. Like this video so that we know that we should keep on making videos like this, and that YouTube realizes that we're not complete shite and that they shouldn't shut down our channels. I'll see you guys in the next one. Woo!